Hi, this is Emma Hemming-Willis.
And I'm Helen Cristoni.
Welcome to our Make Time podcast. We are two women on a mission to uncover the secrets of making time for everything.
From work and relationships to our brain, body, and beauty, we'll explore it all and share it with all of you.
We interview experts so we can discover more practical tips to make time so we have more time for our family, friends, and ourselves.
So join us as we chat with incredible guests who share their expertise on all the ways we can learn to make time, especially for you.
Okay, it's time to make time. Patti Roberts is a refined and relatable mature influencer, celebrated for her wit, wisdom, and undeniable charm. With a wealth of experience across diverse industries, she offers her audience valuable insights and honest conversations, all while exuding grace and sophistication. Patti doesn't believe in the concept of anti-aging. Instead, she champions what she calls vibrant aging. So let's dive in and make time for the one and only Patti Roberts.
Hello, everybody. Today, we're talking to Patti Roberts, and her handle on Instagram is taskyourself, which I love. And, Patti, Emma and I met you at our Make Time meetup in New York, and we just fell in love with you and your energy, and we're so excited to have you on the podcast today. Really, it was such a pleasure to meet you, and we're so excited to introduce you to all of our Make Time listeners.
Thank you. The pleasure was mine as well.
Yes. We always ask the same question of our experts that we bring on. What do you think is the most important thing to make time for, and why?
I say wellness, right? Just hands down, without a question. And wellness looks so many different ways, whether it be mental, physical, drinking the right amount of water, protecting your peace, setting up boundaries. When you feel your anxiety welling up, taking a step back to calm down. So, because I just feel like I can make a list of all the things I want to accomplish and all the things I want to do and people I want to be. Well, what difference does it make if I'm not well?
Yeah, I agree with that. If you can't take care of yourself first and foremost, how can you then take care of others around you?
Impossible. Impossible. So, and life is challenging, and when I came into this social space, one of the things, I was like vibrant aging, advocate, because I'm not an anti-aging. I mean, we are getting older. Everybody, even babies are getting older. Like, how can I say anti-aging? And so just being in this space and moving and thriving and being happy and healthy.
Have you always been in that mindset of this idea of embracing age versus going against the grain of this anti-age philosophy? Or is this something that just, you had like an epiphany?
So I've always been in this mindset a little bit, right? Before I started in the content creator space, I worked in the wellness space. I worked for the YMCA, and it was mind, body, and spirit. And I believe if you take care of those three things, everything else will, fall in place. And so when I got into the content creator space, people were like, well, we've got an anti-aging cream. I'm like, for who? Not for me. I'm aging. Like, you don't get it? And so initially early on, when brands would say, you have to use the word anti-aging, I'd be like, why would I do that though? Mm-hmm. It would make seeming this age like it's wrong or bad, and I just don't subscribe to that. So, it's been a little bit of a journey. There's still some people on campaigns that want you to say anti-aging. And I'm just like, can we say age well or pro-aging or vibrant aging?
Well, when you look as good as you do.
Thank you. Thank you.
What are you taking and how can I get it?
I'm taking peace.
Well, it's showing you're radiating, you're glowing. It seems like you might be aging backwards.
Thank you. I'm having a good time. This is an amazing time in my life, and I'm just excited.
Yeah, I feel like because you're so rooted in, your message to yourself, mm-hmm. that you can see that coming out of your pores, literally.
Thank you. You know what? And again, like last week was a tough week for me. And so, what I did? I just kind of sheltered in, just sat down, just worked on myself, just breathe in, out, didn't do anything else that would add to it. Because if I'm a happiness junkie and I'm promoting happiness, then that's my thing, right? And so I just wanted to be able to get to a space, and I want to share with others how to get to that same space and just be happy.
So, Patti, we've been talking about making time for wellness and happiness. So, if you could give our listeners 3 actionable ways they could make time for both.
Okay. So my IG name, my social name is Task Yourself. And people would say to me all the time, how do you get so much done? Because I put it on a list. So prioritize it, schedule it, put it in place. That's one. Because, like well-meaning intentions. Oh, I'm going to get to the gym. No, when? What time? What day? I even have a personal trainer. He's like, hey, are you on your way? I'm like, so I prioritize, I schedule it. I let my no's mean no. I have boundaries. So say someone calls me right before I have to speak to you all on the podcast. And I'm like, listen, hey, I've got something coming up. I've got to go. And they're like, well, hold on one second. I'm like, okay, I shouldn't have picked up. So my no is no. And I create the boundaries I need to create so I don't induce anxiety in my life. Another way to create happiness or wellness, gratitude. When I wake up in the morning, before my eyes even open, when my brain starts going, I say, thank you, God, for waking me up. Oh my God, thank you for the ability of my limbs. Thank you for my right mind. Thank you for the roof over my head. Thank you for the food in the refrigerator. Oh God, I thank you for my health. Just, and when you think of all the things that could be wrong, but you woke up, you have a new day. You have another opportunity to get it right. Like in whatever you have going on in your personal life, there is somebody that wishes they had your life, that has it worse off than you do.
That's so true. I'm going to double click for our listeners on boundaries because I know women have such a hard time saying no. I mean, everyone's asking us for something. We've got so much going on. And I think I'd love to hear some tricks or tips on how we can empower women to say no without guilt.
Okay, so sometimes the things people are asking you for, they don't have access to, right? Whether it be time or money or whatever it is, resources, whatever. Now, I believe you should give the things that you can freely and abundantly that don't take away from you, right? Because much like wellness, if you start over giving, you don't even have it to give anymore. You're tapped out. So in my life, I know the things I have is because I've learned the lesson. I've taken the L. I've done the work, right? And so I'm willing to share that. But when God gave me these blessings, he also said, now I expect you to be a good steward of them. Because anything you're not a good steward of, you lose, right? So if I don't know how to tell you no, then I'm going to lose the ability to tell you no. If I don't know how to say no, I can't loan you money, then I'm not going to have any money. All the things that you're just giving out freely, those are blessings for you that you've accumulated through lessons and studies and doing the work. So if you keep giving them away, you can't keep being blessed with them. Yes, you should give, but not where your boundaries are crossed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one thing that I like to do, and I've been doing this a lot lately, is when people ask me for help, if I can help them with something, like, hey, Helen, can you help me by doing A, B, and C, or referring me to D, E, and F? I like to ask back, and make and make a habit of, and it's not necessarily that I might really need the help. It's just like pushing that behavior forward. If I'm going to help you, please help me. Let this be a give and take.
I love that.
And just asking, it could be the littlest thing, listen to our Make Time podcast. Do me a favor. Can you go listen to the Make Time podcast and give us a like on our podcast? It could be just like anything.
And how fair is that? That is so fair, right?
So give and take.
So it doesn't feel so one-sided. I think sometimes you have people that like to ask and ask and ask, and we give and we give and we give until resentment builds up. And I just feel like, you know what, that's something that we should do. If someone asks, then we should, continue this circle. And that brings us closer. And that's what community is about.
Yes.
Helen, you made me think of something. Sometimes when people ask me for something, I say, okay, I can assist with that. Now, what have you done? So I can know where you started, how much you've accomplished on your own. Because, God loves those who help themselves. You know what I'm saying? Have you done any of the work for yourself before you're asking me to help you?
Yeah. And another thing that you were talking about that I think is really interesting is scheduling. So we love to say here at Make Time to actually make time for things and put it in your calendar. And I know, Emma, you are a big, you are speaking Emma's language right there. So do you have everything kind of is your schedule really down and to the point?
Listen, if it's not on my calendar, it's not happening. I'm looking for my phone so I can show it to you. I can hold it up. But it is like this, right? In the calendar, say for our podcast today, all the links, every link, everything associated with it, whether it be the time, the address, the contact, the phone number, the link, if it's not it's tight.
Patti, you're speaking my language. This is my language. If the other day something did not land into my calendar, and I get a call saying, "Are you going to join this Zoom meeting?" And I was like, "What?" If it is not there, I am not showing up. So it is very important that I type it, and all the links are there, all the notes are there, all the this is there, so that I can make the meeting. Because if it's not there, I'm not there.
Ladies, we want to invite you to join our Make Time movement to prioritize your brain health. The Make Time community empowers women to focus on making time for themselves and will provide you the tools and resources you need for your brain, body, and beauty in that order. Your brain is your most valuable asset, and it's time we all treat it that way. Join us at maketimewellness.com. It's funny that we're talking about this because I make time to take things off my calendar and I respectfully push because every night, one of the last things I do is I go through my calendar for the next day. And if all these things have appeared out of nowhere, I allow myself to prioritize. And if I'm really too jammed up to do something, I just make time to let the person know, hey, I'm a little jammed up tomorrow. I'll be much better equipped to do this next week. And I think people actually really appreciate that rather than having me with just half there, not really paying attention to what's at hand. And so I make time to clear some time in my calendar so I'm not so jammed up. And I think that's really important too, to allow people to make time for some breaks.
Make time for some breaks, but then by you canceling that, you're really then being able to show up for that person so much more when you feel a little more recharged, your brain's not, overloaded. I appreciate that.
And let's talk a little bit about gratitude. And just kind of staying there. And, first thing in the morning, I think that's just really, it's just meaningful to me when people talk about starting the day in a grateful place, because I think that if you wake up, there's something to be grateful for. The sun always rises and there's always a new, fresh, clean slate to the day. So I think that, you're so empowering, and I love your message that you give to women about embracing the beauty of aging. A lot of women don't necessarily wake up feeling that way. A lot of women wake up and they're like, ugh, God, another day, and they're not feeling into it, and they're not, they're just burdened by a heavy heart or too much on their plate. And so what's a tip that you can give women that are just not necessarily feeling it, on reaching out for something to be grateful for?
So my first thing is, I think that once you shift your mindset, that a lot of that changes with it. So if you've shifted your mindset to start your day with gratitude, write 10 things down or say 10 things out of your mouth that you're grateful for, right? And that still doesn't work for you, then you have to task yourself with why? What is the anchor on me? What is giving me the blues? What do I need to shed? What do I need to get rid of? What situation do I need to change so I can walk in full gratitude, so I can be grateful for this life? And so whether it's whatever the external thing is, and some things are beyond our control, right? So say I'm sick, maybe I'm in the hospital, and those are things I can't change immediately. Well, then I have to be thankful for the things surrounding that I can be thankful for. So you have to look for the happiness. You have to look for the gratitude because it's there. It really is there.
I like this idea of a mindset. I think it's true. I think you have to shift your mindset to be in gratitude. For some, it's not easy. I know for Helen and I, we were going through a lot in our personal life. It's very easy to not want to be in gratitude. And to be honest, I think I was probably there for a while. And it just wasn't serving anyone in my family, especially not myself. And it was really a conscious effort that I had to make to really dig deep to be in gratitude and shift that mindset.
I think just to lean into that a little bit, I think when you're in a season of where you're burdened or you're sad and things are going not quite as you expected, being grateful for the littles, I think is really important. If it's the sunlight on a flower or, just a warm cup of coffee, just, a text from a friend, just really if you can't be grateful for the big things, hold on to the littles, and those littles will start to build. And so, yeah, I totally relate to that, as we all know. So I love it.
Yeah. I also think there was a time where I just could see things sort of unraveling in my family life. But then all of a sudden, there would be these miraculous things that would just appear. And that also helped me shift my mindset because it was almost like someone was just giving me these little seeds of wake up. There are beautiful things happening around you. You just have to look up. Yeah.
There's a book called Everyday Miracles, because if you're looking for miracles, that's what you see. If you're looking for problems, that's what you see. I mean, it's just an age old. I drive a Mini Cooper. Never saw Mini Coopers on the road before I got the Mini Cooper. After I got the Mini Cooper, everyone has a Mini Cooper. So if you're looking for everyday miracles, that's what shows up. If you're looking to be stressed out, guess what? That's what shows up as well.
I think too, I always say you need to be open for joy, and let joy find you. It will.
And also, two things can exist at the same time, right?
Absolutely.
You can be joyous, but you can also be going through grief and sadness. And
listen, this weekend, I spent this whole weekend on the couch like a slug. And I said, okay, come Monday morning, you will shake that off, get up, and get back at it. You know what I mean? So and I think also allowing ourselves grace, right? Because everything is not perfect all the time. No one expects that. So yes, two things can exist at the same time, but you have to push through. It's an actionable item.
100%. Okay, so we always love to ask our guests that come on the show, what are you not making time for currently that you're going to commit to make more time for today?
Work. I have been, so recently I've just got my wellness back on point. I said, you know what, let me hire a personal trainer, someone that can even help me be more accountable, right? And when it comes to work, I've been a little procrastinating. And it's because I'm just not, I've been doom scrolling and all kinds of things that I don't normally do. And so I've said to myself, you have goals that you want to achieve. You're in fourth quarter. You're setting up for a strong first quarter in a couple of days. Get at it. I know you're tired. I know you're like, okay, I've accomplished, and I know it's the end of the year. And sometimes, work is the thing, but I love what I do. I love what I do. So it should not be taxing for me. And the only reason it's taxing is because I'm mismanaging it. So if I take the time to make it work for me, then it will work again. Isn't that horrible to say that? It's hard.
I don't think so. I love making time for work. I mean, work is one of my most loved things. Like, I love working. So I think that's just magical. And I get it.
Yeah, but you also need to be able to make time to recharge so that you can then make time to work. So, all of this goes hand in hand. Patti, we love talking with you today. Can you tell our listeners how we can find you?
I am on socials everywhere under either my name, Patti, P-A-T-T-I, Roberts, or simply Task Yourself. It's one word, like ask yourself, but with a T in front, Task Yourself. So whether that be on YouTube, IG, or TikTok.
Terrific.
I want to say something to you all. So when I came to do the wellness walk with you, I had worked out earlier that day. And so I came and I got these two things, right? Shameless plug, right? Okay, I got these two. I took them.
What are those two so the people at home can hear?
This is the rhodiola vitamin.
Okay, rhodiola.
Okay, and the women's multivitamin.
Yeah,
Okay. So I took 2 and 2 on the walk. Okay. I went home, showered and all that, went to bed. I didn't get up until 7 in the morning. Now, my normal sleep cycle is fall asleep around 9 or 10, wake up around 4 because I have to go to the restroom, never go back to sleep. So now I'm getting, 4, 5, 6 hours of sleep a night. That's it. So I said, okay, it was a fluke. It was a fluke. You did a double workout that day, get up in the morning, do it again, take them again, right? Every night since then, I go to bed around 10. I've been getting up at 7 or 8.
Wow.
If I wake up in the morning at 4 a.m. to go to the restroom, I get back in the bed and go back to sleep. I'm like, you know what? I don't know what's in it.
I think it's the rhodiola.
I think it's lowering your cortisol.
And so I'm like, what is happening? Like all of this is like, I'm looking awful young through here. Like the swelling, the puppiness, the whatever. And I'm like, could it be? And so.
Well, it sounds like you're making time for your brain, body, and beauty with Make Time.
Yeah.
In that order. Just wait, we have some new things coming. We're going to send you a goodie bag soon. I'm so excited.
And I'm so grateful for these two, honestly. And I'm going to do a post because I'm like, when I come across things that organically just work, they just work. That's the only new thing to the routine.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patti. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
That was a beautiful,
shameless plug.
shameless plug.
We love that. That's why we're here, to make some time for women everywhere. So thank you. We appreciate that.
Patti, thank you so much for joining us today, and continue to make time for the things that matter.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope that listening to our podcast has empowered you to make more time for yourself. So make sure to subscribe, please leave a review, and share with a friend who could use a healthy reminder on the importance of making time.
And make sure to keep tuning in, as we will continue to bring on incredible guests to share their Make Time tips on our upcoming episodes. And come say hi over at Make Time Pod, or visit us at maketimewellness.com.
Until next time, make time.